The man hadn't caught anything for 2 days. Suddenly, bubbles started rising from the hole in the ice. The man felt something was wrong. He stood up as the bubbles increased more and more. John spun on his heels and ran with a bang behind him. A water dragon emerged, opened its mouth, and lunged towards John. He was drenched by the river water and in the biting cold. His clothes froze instantly, but when he looked down, he saw an enormous fish inside the bucket. John was overjoyed. He hadn't eaten meat in months. He rushed home, started splitting wood to light a fire, and set the table. Hot fish broth was the only thing that could combat that winter chill. But as John prepared to clean the fish, a feminine voice echoed in the room. John froze. As he turned, he realized the voice was coming from the fish itself, inside the bucket. Startled, he hid under the table, slowly raised his head, and the fish greeted him again. It was then that John began to believe what he was seeing. The fish explained she was a river fish princess who had grown tired of life underwater and wanted to explore the human world. On the surface, she had seen John fishing and intentionally jumped into his bucket. If he would take her on a journey, she could grant all his wishes. Upon seeing the talking fish, John gave up the idea of eating it. He placed the fish beside his bed and prepared to rest. Suddenly, the entire house began to shake. The structure lifted from the ground, floating in the air. Before John could react, his bed and the stove were thrown out of the house. He clung to the stove, afraid of falling. After what felt like an eternity, everything stopped. John asked the fish if this was her doing. The fish replied that she wanted to take him to a magical country. At that moment, the frozen earth began to melt. Nature awakened, and the grass turned green. In a matter of seconds, the entire ground was covered in life. John went to the water's edge with his bucket, but suddenly, the fish was gone. As he looked around, a voice sounded behind him.